welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar. Today we are very lucky to have Allegra Dan, our Senior Product Manager, and Itai Gal, our Product Manager, plus special guest arriving later, Sherry Moorstein, who will be talking to us as well. She's a lead architect from product management. And they're going to be discussing new CloudWAF updates, including SIEM and also the big data platform roadmap. So very exciting session ahead. I am going to hand you over to our team today. Allegra, Itai, if you want to take over from here.
Sure. Thank you, Sarah. Let's just jump to the agenda because we have a packed meeting today. When I review the different items in the agenda, I'll also give you some overall timing for each part so that you can know where we have a long and deep dive and where we have shorter bits. So we'll start with the new walkthroughs for onboarding, which Itai will present. This is a very cool feature, I think, for training new users and for trial users. Then I will talk a bit about some dashboards that I didn't have the time to talk about on our last webinar. So these will be traffic performance and real-time dashboards. Both walkthroughs and traffic performance and real-time dashboards will be relatively short, 10 minutes each. And then we will go to a longer part of SIEM integration. I'll present our plans for a new real-time SIEM integration and additional features that we're planning to release. And finally, present the data platform roadmap. This will be about 20 minutes. So without additional delays, Itai, to you.
Thanks, Allegra. Okay, so just a bit of background on the walkthroughs. After pretty much recently, in the beginning of February, we released free trials for all of our AppSec offerings on Imperva. So if you head over to imperva.com, you will see that you can easily sign up to a free trial and experience with our products. Now, quickly, we realized that one of the bottlenecks for the experiences for new customers, new participants that are using those trials were some of the basic procedures, the configurations of exploring and understanding how to use some of the advanced products that we have, and even some of the simple procedures like onboarding a website or realizing how to investigate and monitor threats through our WAF product. And that had us to the realization that we need to create some more tours or guides that will assist with the adoption process for new users. And that's why we have created walkthroughs, and they are about to go out by the end of this month. So just to tell you more about those walkthroughs, I'll start with providing some information, and then we can also cover a quick demo of how a walkthrough would look like. So first of all, like I said, those will be released for new users. The goal is to shorten the adoption time and the time to first value. We call it the aha moment. That's when the new user realizes how to use the platform and the value that it can provide for him and his needs. Actually, yeah, thanks. Now, the walkthroughs that we created initially to begin with are three sequences that we will be releasing by the end of the month, as mentioned earlier. So the first one is how to monitor and investigate WAF threats. We will take new users through several screens and dashboards to show them how they can understand from the second that they onboard a website, how to really monitor and investigate threats and recognize anomalies and events. Then we will also create another tour showing users how to optimize their website's performance, going to delivery and cache settings and several more areas on the platform. And last, we will also create a short tour for the homepage introduction. As you all know, Recently, a new homepage has been released. Allegra either talked about it on the last session or will during this one. So this new screen is going to aggregate a lot of information and metrics from all of the products that we have on the cloud platform. So a quick introduction of that would be also supplied. Coming up next, the tours that we also plan to provide would be an onboarding checklist, how to onboard your website successfully and tick all the boxes that you are required to make sure you're fully protected by Imperva. And since we released DNS management through the platform pretty recently, we will also show you how to deploy websites using Imperva's DNS management, which would be a much easier and quicker process, all done within the same place. So yeah, I think that we can quickly go through the demo. I'll just say just a few words. We're using an adoption platform to host these demos. Basically, they would look like a helper on your screen. You will be able to click and see the tasks that are available for you, depending on either your plan or the type of user you are. And then you can just click on those tasks and see the walkthroughs. Can I share my screen? Yeah.
Sure.
You should be able to, yeah.
1 second. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so as you can see at the bottom right corner of the screen, there's going to be a nice small wizard that says walk me through. Like I said, it will be available for you depending on what type of user you are or what type of account you have. When you click on that, as you can see, this tasks wizard will open up and you will see all of the tasks that are available for you to participate in. And as mentioned earlier, the first two tasks would be to monitor and investigate your WAF threats, to just learn how you can get the most out of your WAF and use it properly to protect your websites. And then also optimizing your website performance, which the main goal is to deliver content faster to your end user and utilize all of the unique capabilities that the Imperva platform offers. For this demo, we can, I'll choose the monitor and investigate WAF threats to show you. I'll just go over it really quickly. I won't really hang up on each and every dialogue, but just to show you the concept of how it's going to look like when you are going to try it. So clicking on the first task, as you can see, also there is a progress bar above. So as you accumulate tasks and complete tasks and tick them out, you can also see your progress. And once the progress bar is done, the wizard will disappear. Clicking on Monitor and Investigate WAF initially to get the tour started. As you can see, the first thing we want you to do is to click on your WAF. We do that because the dashboards are hidden inside the WAF product, and this is the first place that we want new users to go to so that they can understand where they get the metrics, where the information is. This is a short description of the dashboard that you are about to see, which is a review of the threats that targeted your protected websites and applications. Right now, you're not going to be able to see much data here because this is not yet in our production environment, and it was a bit difficult to execute this on an account that actually has real traffic. But the next demo would be much easier to show with actual metrics. But now we'll just focus on the dialogues itself. So as you can see, we first we prompt the user to click and choose which website they want to view the metrics for. And that can close automatically since usually first-time customers only have one website. Then we show a few dialogues to talk about the big pie chart in this dashboard, which is the WAF violations and how they compare to the current settings that you have. So as you can see, there's the type of violation, there's the number of sessions that triggered each one of those violations, and finally, there is the current settings for your WAF, how you configured your WAF to handle those types of threats. And there would be a dialog, as you can see on the right side, that shows you for each side of the panel what it means and what it does. And once you click next, you will just be transferred to the next dialog and so forth until you finish the tour. So once you click next here, so this is another thing that we can do with those tours, which is pretty interesting. So we can split the tours into a few different directions, or detours, if you will. As you can see with this dialog, it says the current setting reflects the response that you have configured for each of those threats. To learn more about threat response settings, go back to websites. Otherwise, click next to continue the tour. So we can offer some of those for users that are even less savvy with the platform, to teach them more about how to actually configure the settings and not just how to view and how to understand some of the dashboards. Okay, thanks. So if you click on websites, you will just be referred to a detour which shows you how to edit the settings for WAF threats and how you want Imperva's WAF to handle each type of threat. Now, I'm just going to move over the rest of those quickly just to show you the screens that we will display as part of this tour. So from the security dashboard, that we have taught you how to monitor the threats, we're going to the real-time dashboard, because that's where you can actually inspect the traffic. You can inspect session samples. You can see more information about those sessions that attacked your websites. And this one zones in on only one website. You can choose multiple websites. And as you can see on the right side of the screen, you can click and see visitor samples. Each visitor samples has a lot of information that is very useful if you're trying to detect threats. It has the HTTP version. It has the client type and what kind of challenge Imperva presented to that user. Because if we identified it as a threat or as a bot, we usually present it with a challenge like a cookie or a JavaScript challenge or a CAPTCHA. Okay, so moving forward, the final pillar of this tour would be the investigation. So just to recall, first it was monitor, then it was inspect, and finally we want to teach you how to investigate. And that's taking us to the security event screen. This is where we aggregate all of the events coming from all of the different sensors from Imperva. Each row with this security event screen, which will represent a session. Clicking more details will give you more information about that session and exactly what unique qualities it contains, so you can further investigate. And if required, you can also block certain types of sessions like that, so it won't longer be a threat. The final dialogue with this tour would be just an explanation that instead of looking at the event screen on the platform, you can also integrate your WAF to a SIEM. That depends on which platform you're using, but you can integrate it externally, and you can click on the link for more information. And that's it for the WAF tour. As you can see, this is just the final dialogue, prompting you to also try the website performance optimization. And that's it. So when you go back to the wizard, you will see that you've completed that task and you can move on to the next one. I know I didn't hang up a lot on each and every dialogue, and you probably didn't get to read all of the information between each one, but this was just in general for you to understand how this sequence is going to look like and how those tours, the experience with those tours is going to take place. And that's it. So we will be adding, as I said, more tours during the next phases in this year. And I think we also have a short poll, right, to see what dialogues, what kind of tours you might be looking for.
Yeah, let me just. Okay, well, it's getting an idea of what sort of processes that attendees here might have found a bit challenging. So I'm going to launch the poll now. and we'll give you some time to select your answer there. And keep the questions coming in the chat. We've had some great questions so far. Allegra is on it and answering away in the chat, which is great. So keep them coming and we'll put them through to the presenters as and when we get a little break. Okay, people are still answering.
I do love watching the poll populate. It's so cool.
Participation.
We'll give it another, say, 10 seconds here and see how we're getting on. So we've got 26 of 43 answered. So if you're still thinking about it, go for it. Okay.
10 seconds.
And ready.
This is great. Thank you, everyone who's voted. This really helps us understand how to prioritize the next tours.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to shut the polling now and we can share the result. Did you expect that, Itai?
We're a winner.
I have to say a little bit, yes. WAF rules and policies is really challenging, especially because there's a special type of syntax that we're using to create those rules. So I'm happy to say that this is something that we've already considered and is already in the making. As well as the tour, we're also going to provide some examples or common recipes, if you will, to help you really understand the syntax and how to quickly incorporate some rules for your own settings.
Awesome. That's great.
Can you see my screen?
Can indeed, yeah.
Great. So on the last webinar, for those of you that saw it, I presented Imperva's new analytics, but since we had only 1 hour, I didn't have the time to really cover everything. So I have a couple of dashboards that I still owe you to present, and I will do it today. It will be a short presentation, not like on the previous webinar, because we have additional topics, but if needed, on the next webinar, I can deep dive into additional areas. Okay, so a quick recap. This is the new Imperva UI. So we revamped the full experience of the navigation, and we added additional dashboards. One of them, the central, is the new home dashboard, the account level dashboard that presents you an overview of your assets and your security stance across all your sensors in the cloud, as well as performance. And really soon, by the end of April, we will release another dashboard on the home for configuration. So you will be able to view all the configuration gaps that you have across different products. For example, configuration on CloudWAF, any SSL certificates that are pending expiration, and additional configuration gaps that you may have. So this is home. I will not talk about it much because I presented it on the last time. What I am going to talk about is the dashboards under CloudWAF. So I went to application. This is the application security world. I went to WAF service, and now I'm going to dashboards, and here we will see the new dashboards under CloudWAF. So on the previous webinar, I talked mainly about the new security dashboard on CloudWAF. So Itai presented the security dashboard on his walkthroughs, and here you can see an example of the security dashboard with some data in it. So you can see the asset, Imperva demo website. You can select multiple assets if you want. See requests over time, WAF metrics, violations by type, and additional metrics that I covered on the previous webinar. So sorry, I'm not going to cover them now, but I want to talk first about performance dashboard, which I think we didn't have much time to talk about. So in addition to the security dashboard, we also added a new performance dashboard, which as well, you can select the site or multiple sites to view on top of the performance dashboard. And you can view your main performance metrics, including requests over time and any traffic dashboards that you want. Currently, by the way, or until today, this dashboard is in 10 minutes resolution. So that if I will zoom in to the dashboard, let me just select here this area. And now all the dashboards are re-rendered to this time frame. And I will move between 2 points. You can see that each point in the graph is 10 minutes point. Really soon, in the next weeks, we are going to upgrade this dashboard to be in 1 minute resolution. So you will have much more information, higher resolution information about your traffic across all the dashboards, all the traffic dashboards that you see here, including data about caching, requests with errors, visits, bits per second, and additional data. As well as data center information and information by geography. And like on the security dashboard, you can see here as well a list of all your websites in one view so that you can detect outstanding websites. For example, websites with very low cached bandwidth. Here, for example, you may want to improve the caching. So if I have 0%, I may want to improve cache to, I don't know, at least 20 or 30%, or any other outstanding metrics that you can quickly detect and focus on the interesting website. This is about performance. We also added a real-time dashboard, and I saw that one of you wrote something on the chat about the real-time dashboard. So here is a quick view of the real-time dashboards. We'll start with the same components of selecting the website that you want to focus on. Here, you can select only one website, not multiple websites, because if you monitor real-time traffic, you probably want to be very precise about the traffic that you focus on. So you can see the traffic just starting to run in real time. On this demo site, we currently don't have much traffic, but it comes in bursts. And in addition, you will be able to see information about data centers, origin servers, and more. Finally, we have the network tab here, which presents network traffic, layer 3-4 web traffic. Some of you may already know this dashboard. You can use it to detect volumetric DDoS attacks on layer 3-4 on the web. Again, this can show you traffic that runs on real time, as well as up to 90 days data retention, so that you can investigate it. I'll go back to the security dashboard to talk about the question around the sessions. Let's see where it is. Sessions. Okay. Here. We have on the security dashboard a table of current settings. This table presents all the rules that triggered an event, a security event, and the number of security events per rule are calculated by the number of sessions that triggered an event. So that if one session triggered the same event, let's say SQL injection twice, we will count it once as one session. And you can see similar numbers if I go to home. Let's take a look on security here. Okay, you can see the number of WAF events, 417K events that were created within 1.5K sessions. So this session number should be the same number as the number of sessions in the security WAF dashboard that we will see here. Also, if I will go now to the security events page, I will jump. This is the page that lists all of our events. Here it's for the site impervademo.com. The number of events, the total number of events that we see, and specifically the number of events by type, is calculated by number of sessions. So this presents sessions. And here as well, we can see the session details. And under each session, we can see the list of requests that are related to this session. And for each request, we can see the violation that it triggers and additional information about the request. There was also a question about filtering of the events page. So yes, as I said, you can filter the events like on the old events page, if this is filtering by the type of event, and additional filtering parameters like incident ID, visitor type, IP, and more. And in the future, we will enable to select multiple sites for viewing the events page. Currently, you can select one. Soon, we will add multiple selections so that you can view multiple events from a couple of sites. And we will add more advanced filtering and also grouping options for managing the events page. So we will be able to slice and dice, advanced slice and dice of the events page. Okay, so this was a really quick recap and a chance to talk about what I didn't talk on the last webinar. Okay, so SIEM integration. So we've been working a lot on upgrading our SIEM infrastructure and features, and we have a lot of content upcoming in 2021, including the following. First of all, near real-time SIEM integration. So actually, we are already ready with the new SIEM integration infrastructure, and we want to release it just in the next couple of weeks during Q2 or beginning of Q3. We're already starting the beta. I'll talk about it as well. And new real-time SIEM integration will enable you to detect and mitigate incidents when they happen and not some time later. It will enable you to get SIEM logs, security logs, in under 3 minutes. And as a first step, we will implement the new real-time SIEM integration with S3 buckets that the customers own. So if you have an S3 bucket or you are currently using an integration with Imperva logs using S3 bucket, then great. You will get this new real-time SIEM integration really soon. Later on, we plan to enable SIEM integration not only for a CloudWAF, but open it to any sensor. When the first sensor that we will integrate, again, really soon during Q2, is ABP, Advanced Bot Protection. And later on, we will add additional sensors like CSP, our DDoS, different DDoS sensors, and more. SIEM integration channels. So as for today, we have 3 types of SIEM integrations. One is S3, the other is Imperva API, and the third is SFTP integration, where S3 and SFTP are push integrations, so that Imperva pushes the to your SFTP or your S3 bucket, and API is a pull method where you pull the SIEM logs from Imperva's API. We intend to add additional integration channels or integration types, and we are considering streaming We're considering to send the SIEM logs to additional storage types, maybe Azure, maybe others. It's still under investigation, and offer more richness in the SIEM integration. Finally, later this year, we will also enable new real-time integration to weblogs. So not only security logs, but also any weblog that is generated by your system. And before now moving to Shiri, Sarah, there is another call around the SIEM integration, and I'll be happy to hear who of you are using SIEM integration and how.
Yeah, so we've two separate questions here. So we'll leave it for about a minute and let you guys take some time to answer. And again, keep the questions coming. We've got some great questions in the chat, and thanks to everyone who's providing extra info in there as well. It's all really helpful.
Right, it's not finished. I'm very, wow, this is very interesting.
Interesting audience.
Half the people have responded, so we'll try and let a few more go. 10 seconds if you guys can. Okay, I'm going to call it there. Let's see.
Cool, thanks for that.
Very
okay. Thank you for your answers. It's actually an interesting distribution. It's a bit different than the overall distribution that we have for our Imperva SIEM customers. So that's interesting. We learned that. And from here, I want to give the mic to Shiri. She's our lead architect, and she'll talk a bit a more technical overview of our SIEM integration infrastructure.
Okay, so this is the SIEM integration. So you can see in your left that we have several sources. We have the more obvious source of the proxy that which each and every one of you are using. And we have other sources, like Allegra said a minute ago, as the ABP group are going to share their sources of the bot protection and the account takeover and other takeovers of the other products of the Imperva use cases. And we also have some adapters, but eventually all the data are going into the Kafka cluster, and Kafka cluster are collecting all the events from all our sources to a standard event topic, standard event using a JSON format. And the JSON format is going to 3 different routes. One of the routes are the SIEM all webhooks integration, such as what Allegra just explained to you. The other one is going to the event analytics pipeline. It's the same one that Allegra just showed you, the events page, which will be available in the management environment of the Imperva. And the other one is going to our research and report. We're going to develop an environment which we're going to research the events and maybe find out new different attack or maybe different ways to defend and to protect all our customers. Also, we're going to have more, I think, something like Q3, and maybe we're going to talk about it later, about reporting features and other features we're going to use this event. So the SIEM and weblogs event, which is the one that we're going to concentrate right now, first of all, there are going to be multiple topics. It means that each one of the topics is going to be fairly secured for each one of the customers in the different topics in Kafka. All the PII and all the personal information is going to be removed from this topic. So no personal information is going to be in this topic in the data platform. And some of the Kafka is going to be personally and directly into the Kafka, and some of them going to need adapters, but it doesn't need to concern you as customers. So the SIEM integration, first of all, as you seen before. We're going to put in the startup event topic in the Kafka cluster. We have some of the processors. We're going to use microservices, Kafka Stream microservices that we're going to convert the format of the event. Some of the users want to use the event in a leaf format. Some are using JSON format. Each one of the users are going to use the same format they use today. And each one of the customers are going to have a different topic. So we're going to keep very separately and multi-tenancy, securely way how to use the same Kafka cluster, but we're going to secure every customer in a different topic, in a different access control, and in a different way to connect the SIEM integration. So each one of the customers will have its own pipeline end to end. So in the minute that the SIEM will go into the customer topic in Kafka, it's going to be a very secure way to the one of the channels that you just called on. So there is the S3 channel and there is the API channel and the SFTP channel. And each one of them is going to be securely end-to-end. So no customer will be accidentally mixed with other customer, and everything going to be TLS securely connection, and going to be also with the different keys and different client certificates. That's it for the architecture. Do you have any questions?
Let me have a look at the tab. There's one here. Is this integration compatible with all SIEMs?
Yes. So everything that you get today will get exactly the same way. We're cycling with the F3. So the first, the MVP for the new platform, which is going to cut short the time of delivery of the SIEM to less than 1 minute. So today, I think it's something like 30 minutes SLA, something like that. We already cut it for the S3 with the MVP to 3 minutes in average, and we're going to cut it to less than 1 minute from the moment that the event is created until it will be in the customer's SIEM. The first will be the consumers of the S3 buckets. Every SIEM in this poll, I think it was something like 25% of the customers. But I think that it's really more than 80%, right, Allegra? Maybe in this poll it was just 25%, but in the real world, it's something like 8% of the customers are using the S3 buckets in the SIEM integration. They will get it with doing nothing. Just one day we'll wake up and then SIEM will get much faster. And in the same format, they will need to change nothing at the endpoints. And the next integration will be the API integration. And then we will probably need to change the API. We're now working on that because today the API is on an S3 bucket. So in the backend architecture, today the SIEM integration using an old component of us called Lumberjack, and this Lumberjack is putting it in the Imperva S3 bucket, and we have an API above this S3 bucket. And all this architecture and also the API is not the best design that we would like to have today. So we're now working through getting to know this API that we are exposing today to the customer of the APIs, but we might change the API of the consumer. We're going to have a few design partners for this feature. So each one of these customers that voted the API, so PM team, please write them down and have them as our next design partners for the API feature, and then we will know how it will best to expose. But for the S3 customers, it's going to be exactly the same. They won't need to change a thing. It's going to be the exact same format they have today.
So last thing about SIEM integration call for beta. We're starting now the beta for new real-time SIEM integration for customers that want to use S3. So either if you are today have an integration using S3, or you want to have an integration or additional integration using S3 and you want to join our beta, you're invited. Please drop me or Sarah an email, and we can take it from there. All right, the last topic for today, data platform roadmap. So SIEM integration is just one small part of our new big data platform. And what I want to present now is our vision about the data platform, including SIEM integration and additional components. And as a start, I want to present a simplified view of how data flows within Imperva and outside. So the first place where the data starts to be generated, let me just hide the floating controls. The first area is the sensors themselves. It can be CloudWAF or ADP or DDoS sensors, all the sensors that you already have and know. They detect any attacks or issues and generate a lot of data. All the data that is generated by the sensors is then sent to the next place. And this, we call it stream. This box is called stream. It takes all the data and starts to send it to the most important places. So one of those places is a new engine that we call Analyze. The Analyze engine is what stands behind the new dashboards that I presented on the last meeting, and I presented a bit of them today, including home and the CloudWAF dashboards and the new events page and so on. And we will also add in the future an AI engine, which we actually already started developing, which will support detection and blocking of more advanced attacks. The data that is created by the Analyze box is then sent to the detection box. So all the analytics and anomalies that may have been detected by the AI engine are sent to the detection. And here, this engine decides if we may have a threat. So it can be a threat of type user behavioral anomalies, or a threat of type API response. Maybe we have a sensitive data in API responses that are sent to customers, and more. The detection engine that says, "Hey, you have an issue here," is sending its output to the response engine. This engine decides what to do: block this request, I don't know, alert, do something else. And again, I'm repeating, now I'm talking about more complex attacks, not about the simple attacks that are detected by the sensors that you know. Now I'm talking about smart attacks that need AI or analytics to detect. So the respond engine can do, for example, sensor auto-tuning. Let's say that your CloudWAF sensor, our system finds a new IP that may be dangerous and decides to put this IP automatically on a denied list. Then the CloudWAF sensor will auto-tune itself. The respond box will decide, I want to put this IP on the denied list, will move it there, and will auto-tune your WAF. and then it will sync the monitor box. All of these boxes, they create a lot of data, and we don't want to lose this data. This is important data that we want to keep and study it. So all these boxes send their data to a data lake, a new data lake that we are building that is storing all the data in one huge place, and then we can learn on top of this data, do predictions and additional things. On top of everything, we have the experience layer. This layer is what you know. It presents all the analytics in the new console and the Imperva analytics, and you can see everything also on the mobile app. So all the data is presented inside your Imperva products. But in addition, all this data, you can see that this is a closed ecosystem. This is the Imperva ecosystem. But if you want to send this data externally outside of Imperva, this can be done as well. And from the stream, we can send this data outside through a box that we call Connect, which includes APIs like REST API, in the future maybe streaming API, and any data transport tools that we have. And this can send the data outside to SIEM systems, like Shiri presented, or to any other third-party systems using APIs and other tools. And this is really in high level, like the stream of data, how it flows in the system. This is nice, but now what can we do with it? So first of all, the first use case or application of this is Imperva Analytics. So all the new dashboards from home with the account level dashboards and security, performance, real-time, network, events, usage reports, and additional dashboards that we will add are running on top of this new data platform. And they utilize the Analyze box with the Analytics engine. Next, we have the advanced SIEM integration that we presented with new real-time SIEM and opening SIEM to any sensor and so on. And this will utilize the Connect with the new streaming and integration infrastructure, and of course, your SIEM systems. Then we'll have Notification Center. Notification Center is a new feature that we will present on the May webinar, a month from now. Very cool feature, and it will enable you to manage your notifications with high granularity, decide exactly which notification will be sent to whom on site level, sub-account level, account level, a very advanced and granular notification management solution, and Itai will present it next month. Notification Center is also dependent on the Connect layer here. By the end of 2021, we plan to release a reporting solution, starting with some predefined reports, the most important reports for you. For example, OWASP 10 report and additional reports that you may be interested in. And later on, we want to also enable customizable reports so that you can build the reports that you want. The reporting platform will utilize Analyze with Analytics Engine and maybe also AI Engine, and of course, Experience. We're planning to have also third-party integrations with identity providers, and we also have thoughts about integrating with antivirus. And the third-party integrations will utilize Connect and the third-party solution that will be selected. And finally, the AI platform that we're already at work on it. So AI platform can include any advanced attack detections like API security, if this is an API classification or detecting sensitive data in API response. This will soon be released, and this will be on top of the AI platform. And we are also planning future use cases like user behavioral anomaly detection, WAF auto-tuning, as I talked about before, and additional use cases on top of the AI platform. The AI platform utilizes the analyze box with the AI engine. It will utilize the detection that will decide if there is a threat, and it will utilize the respond box, which will decide what to do with this threat.
Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.